Come and listen, you people, and I'll tell you a tale. Down a holler in Appalachia where a creature did dwell, there was an old man, or so the stories go, out hunting with his 3 dogs after a doe. There'd been a drought that year and a bad harvest before. 'Twas nothing in his pantry but dust on the floor. He'd been looking all day without any sign. Just a bony old rabbit was he able to find. He took it back home to make him a stew. The dogs laid in the corner with the bones to chew. The stew wasn't filling and it left him in despair. So he built him a fire and went to dozing in his chair. The sun started setting as the old man did sleep, and in through a mouse hole a creature did creep. Its fur was dark and matted, it had many a sharp claw, and flowing out behind it the prettiest tail you ever saw. The man grabbed a knife and jumped to his feet. The creature gave a growl and made its retreat. It squeezed through the hole as the knife flew through the air. The knife lopped the tail off with a sickening tear. Outside came a cry as the creature ran into the night. The man sealed the hole and sealed it up tight. Then looking at the tail, an idea he had. He'd eat it up and boy, he would be glad. After eating his fill and the dogs had been fed, he put out the lights all for to go to bed. Then looking out the window, he saw the harvest moon rise, but didn't notice in the woods two fearsome watching eyes. The night was still, the dog slept on the floor, when suddenly the man woke to a scratching at the door. Out cried the man, "Who's there scratching at my door so?" The only response was, "Give me back my Tailypo." He ran to the door with his dogs at his heel. He grabbed his rifle and gave a cry so shrill, "I have 3 big dogs and a gun, so you better go." The only response was, "Give me back my Tailypo." He opened up the door and the dogs chased it away. The dogs barked and growled as they fought their prey. Then a shriek ran out and all went so still. Only 2 dogs came back and the man felt ill. He locked the door and went back to bed. It wasn't long before he started bobbing his head, when a crash rang out as the door fell to a mighty blow. The creature stood there growling, "Give me back my Tailypo." Without missing a beat, the dogs chased it away. The old man watched from his broken doorway. They ran into the woods and fought just like before, but this time only one came back to his door. He fixed the door the best that he could, then went back to bed not feeling so good. He he'd lost that night. The fate that had fallen upon them filled him with fright. Sleep had just taken him when his dog began to bark. The man stood up and looked into the dark. In the doorway was the creature, crawling mighty low. The creature growled, "Give me back my Tailypo." The dog gave chase, and into the woods they went. The man locked the door and cursed this whole event. He looked out of the window, but nothing could he see or hear. Alone he sat in the quiet dark, trembling with fear. He walked around the cabin, filling up every hole and gap. Then went to his bed and sat with his rifle on his lap. It wasn't long until he fell asleep. Outside in the woods the creature did creep. The man slept uneasy, his dreams full of fear. In his dream the monster's eyes did leer. He was woken all of a sudden by a tickling of his toe. The creature stood above him, saying, "Give me back my Tailypo." The old man screamed and dropped his rifle to the floor. He stammered out, "What are you looking for?" The creature leaned in and said, "You already know. You have it and I want to give me back my Tailypo." The creature attacked with all of its might. The whole cabin became a gruesome sight. The only thing that you need to know is the creature got back its Tailypo. That brings us to the end of our little tale. They say the creature lives in these mountains still. Whenever the harvest moon shines and the wind starts to blow, you'll hear from deep in the woods, "Got back my Tailypo."